stage. As many of you know, we like to feature an educational component as part of our meetings. We did invite Barbara Jordan to present tonight. She is owner and senior consultant with Center for Coaching and Leadership Development, and her company provides assistant areas of leadership coaching and development, strategic planning, team development, and professional development seminars and presentations. Barbara is also the founder and host of the Traverse City Leadership Lunch Club's speaker series, featuring leaders and business owners presenting best practices they've used to help them drive success in their business. Speakers also highlight how they've applied some concepts from best-selling business and leadership books, which are also available at the meetings. Barbara will be presenting on There's More to Success Than Being Smart, the Power of Emotional Intelligence. Barbara.
Thanks, Lisa. I'm looking at a group like this tonight and I'm realizing there's a lot of really smart people in the room tonight. And I know a lot of you want to build a really successful business. But I want to tell you that research shows that it's not how smart you are and it's not how technically competent you are that's going to be the biggest determiner of how successful you're going to be at leading your business. In 1995, Daniel Goleman, he was a psychologist and a brain and behavioral scientist. He came out with a book called Emotional Intelligence, and it kind of rocked the business world because he shared research that said that compared to factors like IQ and technical competence, emotional intelligence accounted for 67% of outstanding performance in leaders. So think about what we tend to look for in resumes when we're hiring leaders. So I want to use my remaining few minutes that I have left to give you a quick overview of what emotional intelligence is and why it's so important. So emotional intelligence is basically the ability to be aware of our own emotions, what's going on inside of us, what's going on in other people, and the other part of that is, so what do we do with the emotions that are going on inside of us and what's going on inside of other people? Some people may call this people smarts. So people with low emotional intelligence tend to act, they're a little more out of touch with what's going on with their emotions. They tend to act more impulsively. Maybe you experience some of this. They can create emotional disconnects and conflicts, and they can tend to miss social cues. So they can also, actually, it looks like that slide got missed, that they also contribute to demotivating work environments, which maybe some of you have experienced as well. Interesting part of the research is that the emotional intelligence of the leader has the biggest impact on the work environment. I mean, think about, when mom and dad come home, what mood are they in, and everybody kind of walks on eggshells. That's the kind of impact that the leader has on the work environment. So research shows, too, that in exit interviews, when people leave, they tend to leave supervisors, not organizations. So people with high IQ tend to have more of social awareness of what's going on with other people, self-awareness of what's going on inside of them. They have better control over their own emotional reactions, and they tend to exhibit behaviors that lead to healthy relational connections and a positive work environment. So EQ really consists of a variety of different competencies. I don't have time to go into all of them, but you can see some of those. They're in the line of self-awareness, social awareness, and how we manage our emotions and how we deal with our relationships. So I thought the best way of illustrating the power of emotional intelligence was to give you a couple examples from my own coaching practice. I'm obviously going to change the names and leave out any identifying information to illustrate the power of emotional intelligence. So here's Mary. She's a very bright and gifted professional, top-notch in her field, has a lot of degrees. However, she was losing the respect of a lot of her staff because she couldn't control her temper. She would tend to yell when she was frustrated. She would even throw things across the desk and so on. And then you have Max. Max was also a very bright and talented professional, and people paid him a lot of money for his technical expertise in his field. But his boss was getting a lot of feedback that Max was frustrating his staff and clients because it was that old proverbial, if you asked Max a simple question like what time it is, he would tell you how the watch worked. So he was giving a lot of unnecessary technical information to people, and it was really frustrating them, confusing them, and a lot of times it wasn't even answering their question. So Max and Mary are both very smart. very technically competent in their field, but they both lacked some emotional intelligence competencies, and it was really tanking some aspects of their career development. So Mary lacked some self-awareness and some impulse control, which are emotional competencies, and Max lacked some self-awareness and also social awareness of how his responses were impacting other people. So the reality is that a lot of us have blind spots about what's going on inside of us and need to raise our self-awareness, and also how we need to respond differently to other people. Now, Steve Jobs from Apple was also known to have some of these emotional competencies that were at a lower level. He was known to, and maybe some of you even saw a couple movies that came out, but he would yell sometimes at people, he would demean some of his staff, he even impulsively fired some of his best staff members. However, he was really good at one of the competencies in the relationship management part of that, and that was inspirational leadership. He could get people really excited.
Keep going, but we're going to move into the 5 minutes.
That's fine. He could get people really excited about wanting to be part of something that was going to change the world. And so people wanted to be so much a part of this vision that he was great at casting that they would put up with some of his other behavior. So it just shows that not all emotional competencies are equally weighted in all situations. So good news is that emotional competency can be learned. And I want to report that through our coaching sessions and their willingness to take an honest, what's going on here? And their willingness to take an honest look at themselves, that Max and Mary really did make some amazing progress. And they used some assessment tools, and they replaced some of their old responses with some new, healthier responses. And honestly, all of us can gain some awareness and with a little help and a lot of work. So that's a little bit on EQ, and I just want to also invite all of you. I know why this is doing that so fast, but Lisa mentioned Leadership Lunch Club, and it's a great opportunity for professional development. This Friday, we're going to have Amanda Danielson talk about creating your dream team. Registration ends tomorrow, so come out to see that. And then on April 28th, back by popular demand, is Zingerman's talk about what Stephen Jobs is really good at, casting a powerful vision. Zingerman's is going to talk about that. And then on June 9th, you may see some familiar faces. Russell will be one of them. Innovation panel, some cool things about what some people are doing. And then I just want to encourage you, we have an email list. You can sign up on our homepage at leadershiplunchclub.com. Get some event updates. Find us on Facebook at Leadership Lunch Club TC. And I guess that's it. So.
We have a couple of minutes. Does anybody have questions for Barbara?
Yes.
Is Zingerman's thing for free?
No, it's not for free. It's well, the Cygnus is actually going to be. We usually we do a lunch at the country club. This will be a lunch, a keynote, and a 2-hour workshop. I mean, normally this is probably at least $1,000. If you go to Ann Arbor, we're doing it for $99 for the lunch and the workshop. So it's really a rare opportunity to have Zingerman's in Traverse City and learn about visioning, which is really key. I mean, a lot of you that are trying to promote what you're doing, the ability to vision cast and get people excited about it is really key. Anybody else have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
For the emotional intelligence, you know how Gallup has the leadership test? Is there a, kind of an assessment that people
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was certified by the Hay Group in Boston, and they're the people that worked with Daniel Goleman, kind of considered the father of emotional intelligence. We do a 360 assessment, emotional intelligence assessment, because part of self-awareness, I mean, if you do a self-assessment, you have blind spots, that kind of limits the information that you're going to get. So 360 gets feedback from people around you, your peers, supervisor, staff, so on. Yeah. 1 more minute. Any other questions? Okay.
I should say, what's the success rate? Can you actually move somebody from one EQ, one of the categories, to another, and what's the success rate?
I don't have a percentage for you, but I know that when people become aware of what their emotional triggers are, when they can get out of their reactive brain into their more rational brain, and then you can reprogram that and give them healthy behavioral options that I know from my own coaching practice that is a very high success rate.
Very cool.
So.
There you go.